There's a version of divorced dads that nobody talks about. And he's not in crisis. He's not falling apart. He's paying his bills. He's showing up for his kids. He's doing okay uh, by every external measurement. But inside, he knows something's off. He's stable, but he's not climbing. He's surviving, but he's not really building. He's gotten himself out of the valley, but he's been standing at the base of this mountain for longer than he wants to admit. We're going to talk about this mountain today. And the honest question he hasn't asked himself yet is, what's actually stopping me from going higher? That's what today is really about. There's two types of these dads that I'm seeing, talking to about 1,000 dads a month, a few hundred guys in our school group. And there's two of them. There's these two paths. And after divorce, every dad eventually reaches this crossroad and this path. The crisis phase ends, the chaos somewhat settles, and you're left with this choice. It's not a dramatic choice. It's actually a quiet choice. I'm going to talk about the first person, the first path. And this is the valley dweller that we're talking about. The valley dweller. And I live in Arizona and I live in the valley. So I can picture what the valley dweller is. It's stabilized but not growing, consuming content but not implementing. And I know for me in my own experience that even when you do consume content, it does feel good. It does feel like you are progressing. However, if you don't act on those things and those principles and those ideas, it's almost worse. It's almost too much. It's almost an information overload. A lot of times when you're in the valley, it feels like this, waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right sign. You're waiting for. I was on a call the other day with a dad that was just telling me how he wanted to stop drifting and he needed to do it. And he needed to do it and he needed to do it. And I said, well, why haven't you done it? I said, are you waiting for a unicorn to magically pop up into your office? And him and I both laughed. But many times that is what dads are waiting for. And I believe that this podcast is one of those nudges. Finding our Divorced Dads of America on Instagram is a nudge. It's like, oh, hey, there is something I can do. The guys in the valley they're comfortable enough to maybe not hurt as much. And they've been comfortable enough to say, well, it's going to hurt and time is going to heal. But they're not hungry enough to climb. And I want to double down on this. They're not hungry enough to put a bet on themselves. They're not hungry enough to say, I'm going to put money on myself. I'm going to bet on myself that I can do this. Because you're crushed, man. You just felt like the world just, was unfair, sabotaged you, right? The valley, though, I want to say this very clearly. The valley is not failure. It's the most dangerous place, though, because it feels like enough. It feels like you're progressing or, maybe you're doing something. All right. And that's the one path. That's the valley. Now I want to talk about the climber. And again, I'm in Arizona, and so very familiar with climbing. My son the other day was in the back of a house, and there's a mountain, and he climbed it in the middle of the heat, 103 degrees outside, and he went for it. He paid the price for it, but he went for it, and I was proud of him that he did it. And that's what climbing is. And here's what the climber sounds like. Here's what the climber looks like. It's the same point. The climber's at the same point, the same starting point, right? As the valley, but makes a different decision, not to wait until they feel ready. Climbers, they don't have more talent and they don't have necessarily better circumstances. They have one thing the valley dweller does not have. It's a structure that won't let them stay comfortable. Now, as you're looking at this picture, as you're looking at this valley, you're looking at this mountain, I want to put what this mountain looks like practically for you. I want to put some pictures up there for you to get an idea. What does this thing look like, right? I want you to imagine a valley after a storm. And, there's been times where I've been up in the hills in Arizona where you can look into the valley during a storm and it's incredible. I mean, just these dark clouds roll in and it's actually beautiful down there. It's sheltered, it's quiet, it's safe. You can see the mountain from the valley. You can even talk about climbing the mountain. but the valley has everything you need to survive. The problem is you weren't designed to survive, you were designed to climb. That's why you're here. I don't talk to deadbeat dads. I talk to dads that are leaders, that know there's something more, that are stagnant, spinning their wheels. That's you. That's many of you. The view from the valley and the view from the summit are not the same view. And your kids don't need a dad that survived a storm. Hey, we got through it. I made it through it. That's not what we're living. You got one shot at this life. They want a dad who climbed after it. So those of you that have jumped onto this podcast, I want you to do something right now and hit subscribe and share this. Add a comment. Something hits you, something stood out, a picture, a note, an idea. Hit subscribe, hit share, drop a follow. Why? What does this do? We're going to transform a million dads. I don't care about reaching them. I want transformation, and I can't do it alone. I need your help. Every follow puts this in front of another divorced dad standing at the base of that mountain. 2 clicks. It's real impact. Just do it now. Just boom, click, easy. Real impact for another dad that you can do. Do it now. Stay with me. We're going to get into what keeps dads in the valley. Okay. These are real things that are happening with hundreds of dads that I talk to that are just like you. And they're not hiding it. They're not shameful about it, but these are what it sounds like, right? Here's loneliness masquerading as independence. It sounds like this. The house is quiet and you've told yourself that you're fine with that. Maybe you are, but 3 a.m. says otherwise. And isolation feels like peace until it becomes a prison. So here's another idea, another story of what this looks like. Some dads are doing well, new relationships, maybe your income's growing, your life is stabilizing, but they feel guilty about it. Like success is a betrayal of the struggle. Like winning means leaving their kids behind somehow, right? That guilt is a valley anchor and it keeps you from climbing fully. It's weights that you're trying to carry up a mountain while you're climbing, and you're going to get wore out. And then you're going to tell yourself, well, I guess this is what I have to deal with. Well, it's not, because you get to control what you think about, and you get to control your actions, and you get to control how you feel. So there's no structure around the growth. And what happens when there's no structure is you know what you need to do. You've listened to the podcast, you've read the books, you've had the conversations, but knowing without a container to implement it, it keeps you stuck. It keeps you grounded. And information without accountability is just entertainment. I don't want to entertain you guys. I want something. I want something to grab onto you and pull you forward. Now, I want to share with you quickly here before we close out what the climb actually is. What the heck is the climb? All right. And I want to give you something today I haven't ever shared before, never shared it on the podcast. And it's new because what happened was I was seeing guys consuming, and having the same problem. And so I created something. It's called the climb. I built the climb because the valley is too crowded with capable dads that deserve more. It's a private community, small, intentional, for the divorced dad like you who is done waiting. It's not for men in crisis. It's for men that are stabilizing and ready to build something real. It's monthly, it's focused, it's accountable, it's with me every single week. The men inside aren't comparing war stories. This isn't a fantasy football thing where we just complain about life. No, this is the climb, brothers. This is putting a roadmap together with you to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is why I'm doing it. This is why it matters. This is what I'm going to do each and every day. These guys are building their next chapter. And if you've been standing at the base of that mountain, this is the structure that gets you moving. This is the structure. It's no longer just looking at something. It's having a structure, presenting it, and saying, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to bet that I'm going to do something different. If I want to change, I've got to change. Let me give you a couple scriptures of how the lens of this looks through scripture, right? Philippians 3:13 and 14, powerful verse that says, forgetting what is behind and pressing on toward the mark of the high calling, toward the goal. Paul didn't say forget slowly. He didn't say when you're ready. He said press on. Present tense, activated. Now, the valley is what's behind. The summit is what's ahead. Press on. So those of you Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Drifters stay in the valley because the valley stopped hurting. Builders climb because they know the summit was always the destination. You've done the hard part. You've survived the storm. You're still breathing. You're alive. Now it's time to decide what you're building on the other side of it. The climb opens tomorrow. It's in our school group. Jump into school. The link is in there. School is free and will always be free. This is $98 a month. It's private. It's with me. It's intentional. And it's for the man who's done standing still. Like I said, the link is in the show notes to get you over there and get you going. And I want you to remember this. If this episode hits you, something nudged you, something pushed you, something hits you, share it with one dad. Click subscribe. Click follow. You're no longer in the valley. Help another dad get through the valley and start climbing. A couple of clicks just gives them hope. It gives them help. It shows them something that they can do right now. If you're ready to stop surviving, start climbing. Come on. Let's go and do this thing. This is real. It's happening. I love you guys. I pray for you every day. I can't wait to see you on the next one. I can't wait to see you in the climb. Get in there. Drop a comment. Whatever you need to do. Let's start climbing. Love you guys.